Yeah, I think. I mean, if you pull back and take a bigger picture view on it, which I try and do as often as I can, I think it's great for us that we're in a real battle today. You know, I think when we play the top sides in the Premiership, when they're coming full on, they've got their internationals in, what you have to be is you have to make sure you're at least in the fight for the full 80 minutes. And I think that part of it was fantastic from us today. What we have to add to it is, along with all that physical endeavour, which we put masses of in today, we've just got to add those couple of moments of clarity that decide a 12-9 game. Or, you know, I've just said to the players, you know, it's frustrating, and it's not an individual issue, of course, but, you know, you could almost say the game was decided on 2 tap penalties, 2 that we took that weren't very good ideas. You know, we had a kickable shot at goal, I think when it was 9-9, I think, that we turned down and tapped, and then we tapped again instead of clearing our lines with a kick that led to their piece of pressure that they got their winning penalty from. And you kind of look at 2 moments like that on a night like tonight, and you kind of can pull your hair out and think what were we quite playing at, but. We do encourage the guys to go for it and make decisions, but we made a couple of bad ones today. You know, there's a truth to it. So, as I said to the guys, you know, being in the fight and being there or thereabouts in tight games is what you have to do. What we have to work hard to do is get on the other side of them, and that's the key for us. You know, we had a few issues early in the game at the scrum, but we remedied those really well in the second half, and almost became probably a little less rewarded than we should have done at scrum time. And so, you know, we got ourselves in the game. It was a tight game, and we've unfortunately just come out on the wrong side of it.
Refereeing's been in the spotlight a lot, isn't it, these last few weeks? I mean, another day to day. I mean, it's very tough. From where you were sitting, yeah. How did that look to you?
Listen, I think some of the early scrums that went against us and were pens were correct, but I definitely think there were times when Leicester were going backwards and standing up, and there seemed to be resets and not always scrums and not always penalties, and that can be a little bit frustrating. But I think ultimately, as I said, you know, the game was still in our hands. To, you know, like I say, we won penalties. We didn't have to be tapping them. We could have been taking territory. We could have been taking shots at goal. And like I say, I'm not going to bring the whole result down to a couple of those moments, because, you know, 80 minutes of rugby, there's a lot of breakdowns, a lot of scrums, a lot of lines, a lot of tackles have to be made. But that part of it, the energy and the individual parts of the game, we were very good as you broke the game down. As I said, I think Leicester showed probably why they're a top 4 side regularly and a Premiership winning side, because in that period at the end, that last quarter, they played the pressure game better than we did, and they've come out with a win because of it. But as I said, that's probably what we have to learn to do as a team, and they've already got.
4 games remaining, 8 points. Still outside in 8th place, which is what I was saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not unduly worried. I mean, today's game was not necessarily ever going to decide whether we're going to push on into a Heineken Cup place. What we have to do is keep showing the form we're showing. You know, we've played 3 very good games of rugby. We've won 2 of them, and we've come up 3 points short of Leicester in another one. You know, that's not a bad run of performances. So what we have to make sure we do now is we turn up next week. You know, we've just said to the guys in the changing room, the important thing for us is to make sure we perform at a very high level next week. You know, going away to Worcester, it's all very well as getting our tails up to play Harlequins at Harlequins and then Leicester at home. What we've got to do now is it's been a real professional, hard-working performance next week, because it's picking up points over the collection of the next 4 games that's going to determine where we end up.
I think it's still achievable.
Top half of the Premiership, yeah, I think top halves. You know, everyone's got different run-ins, and teams are playing each other. You know, there's still a lot of points to be played for. The gap's not massive. You know, there's not a big gap to us to back. There's not a big gap then to the next team. We've got to string some good results together.
The fact that you were in the at the back of players' mind, perhaps an alley just to finish the season strong. We've had a taste of it.
Well, definitely. I mean, I'd be very disappointed if our players don't want to get back in the Heineken Cup. I think we've enjoyed it. I think we've done well in it. I think it's added something to our game. It's massively added to an experience and the intensity we're getting used to playing at. As I said, I'd be disappointed if we didn't want to be there again. I think it's kind of there. It's within our grasp, but it's kind of almost just out of reach. We've just got to keep working hard to haul it back in. You know, there's 6 spots there, definitely, and I think, you know, I think they're very achievable for us. But we have to be a team that's sticking a run of results together. You know, it's another good point today. You know, in 3 games, you know, we've picked up, you know, kind of 10 points. You know, 10 points out of 3. You'd take that on most runs. That's what we've got to keep producing.